Today we're talking about three things. Why? Because I feel like it. First thing we're talking about Thor Ragnarok. For those of you who don't know, I used to review movies a lot. And I do like to talk about movies, and I'd love to review more movies. I just don't really get the time to see movies on either the first weekend or get them out in a timely fashion to when I think it's worth doing a review for one of these things. But I saw this film last night, which is why this video is a day late, so might as well since we're here. I thought this movie was good, not great. Everyone knows the plot by this point. It's the biggest movie in the world, at least till tomorrow with Justice League. I was thoroughly entertained. It's a lot of fun. The action is really good. The acting, as always, is on point. The characters are very strong. The visuals are really good. I love the look of this movie. I really like the soundtrack, especially when we get to Sakaar. I could have spent the whole movie there, especially with Jeff Goldblum. New characters were all good. Valkyrie, Hela, Jeff Goldblum, they were all really good. Most of the film is fine. There's just two big problems. Well, three kind of, but they're kind of a big deal. First up, first third of this movie really dragged for me. The first third of this film felt like this is the checklist Taika Waititi was given to direct this film. Basically, you have to do this, this, this to set up where the movie is in the MCU, where Thor is, and where everyone should logically be, having gone through all this stuff that you were not involved in, so you probably don't care that much. That seems to be what had happened, and honestly, there did reach a point in the first third I was like, oh no, I hope I don't end up not liking this. And the second problem, and this I think leads into all issues one could have with this film, there is way too much comedy in this, which doesn't have to be a problem. Obviously, I like comedy, but it's not very funny. Like, it really isn't. Most of the jokes in this movie for me fell flat. Because a lot of it, so apparently 80% of the dialogue, that's what they're claiming, some ridiculous number like that, of the dialogue was improvised. Which is fine with, say, Tony Stark, who is basically just Robert Downey Jr. being a little bit more drunk. It's fine with Spider-Man, where Tom Holland is very much a real young man and can play a young man. And it's fine with Paul Rudd and Ant-Man, because Paul Rudd knows how to play that character, and that character was grounded. But did you notice something about all three of those characters? Those three characters were human, and they were tried to be grounded in a level of reality, so giving the actors the chance to do more natural dialogue that fits them and their personalities benefited. Thor does not. Thor is an alien. Thor is the god of thunder, and he talks like he's from Norse mythology, and he acts like he's from Norse mythology. So when you have Chris Hemsworth improvising lines that should be funny and would be funny under different circumstances, it really leads to a lot of inconsistent scenes and a lot of moments where I just found myself going like, oy vey. Like, it works at some spots, like a lot of the ones you've seen in the trailer are very funny in the movie. But then there's a lot of humor scenes, like, I guess these are minor spoilers. I'm not going to give any, like, major details or anything. But there's a scene where Thor sees something that grosses him out, and he's like, yep, that's in my brain. Or there's another scene where Thor, where Thor sees someone die in a weird way, and, like, goes, oh my god, like, you're the god of thunder, you've been a warrior for over 1,000 years, and you've been across the galaxy, and this is what creeps you out to that level? It just felt like improvising didn't just sync with the character. Like, I felt like it just didn't line up, and it led to the movie really feeling like it dragged at several points, and it also kind of led to a lot of scenes where I just sort of sat there like, am I supposed to be laughing because what he said was funny, or because what he said isn't really funny? I don't know. Tell me in the comment section below what you thought of Thor Ragnarok, or if you see where I'm coming from. As for this week's Vrains episode, this was a lot more... This was simplistic in ways that Yugioh is not usually. This not only stripped away having a big complicated plot, this stripped away having a character with a big complicated backstory. Now the thing is, of the three characters we've been following in this show, as far as heroes go, even though two of them are technically normal people, they don't have normal backstories. Go was raised in an orphanage, Aoi with her brother, and all this stuff. Naoki is really just a normal kid. There is nothing special about him. There is nothing unique about him. And the show has gone out of their way to show you there is nothing particularly special about this guy. He has an ego and he has enthusiasm. That's why he wanted to talk to Yusaku. That's about it. And the show addresses this in a way that I thought was really nice, in that it kind of put all this on Front Street. Normally in a lot of these kinds of shows, when it's time for a side character to step up, they come up with some cockamamie excuse that all his traits that most people would find annoying and irritating are a good thing. This did not. Like, not only does it go out of your way to explain why his ego and why he thinks so much of himself is bad, it legitimately gets him in trouble, and there are serious consequences for it. I mean, obviously Yusaku is going to save him, or maybe he won't. Maybe Yugioh will have the balls to do something crazy. But I just liked the idea that we saw a character who was not capable of protecting himself, who did not have any investment, and who did not have a special reason to be fighting. This is a normal guy. We've seen plenty of people up to this point who were like, I'm gonna help fight too, and then back down. The only reason he didn't, and the only reason he was stupid enough to try this, is because someone handed him Cyber's Wizard. I guess it's Ignis, but probably. Did they actually address that? I was pretty late when I got home last night and watched this. And also, the Ignis stuff, oh god, we'll get to that in a minute. But it's a neat idea, and I sort of like that concept of, no, you idiot, of course he's going to almost get himself killed. And it is interesting that where the two duels where Aoi and Go fought Hanoi administrators, or whatever you want to call them, those were played very serious and very straight, and here we get a little more comedic. I kind of like the break. I like doing an episode that was a little bit more lighthearted, and I liked that we kind of got back to having a lighthearted duel. All the duels in this show are so serious and all this. It was kind of funny to see this comically silly duel. They both brick miserably, and then like the way one guy gets around it, he basically just lucks out on a Soul Charge top deck. Soul Charge was in this. As a Yu-Gi-Oh player, how can you not smile? Like a legit meta card that's actually relevant and important to the game showed up, and it was with Steel Swarm. Okay, I don't care about Steel Swarm, and most people don't, but come on, you gotta admit, it's cute to see a deck that really has never gotten any attention, but is real and was made for real life, get its spot in the show, and kind of be used effectively. I mean, that is how that deck works, just tribute to get at the big guy. So that was a lot of fun. I sort of like the fact that the guy basically killed himself in life points, especially because that's always my big problem with the concept of 4,000 life points. I feel like half the time, with how much we pay for solemns and stuff like that, you would end up killing yourself. And I thought the way that Naoki came back was cute. I keep thinking Naoki from Cardfight Vanguard. It's like, no, it can't be the same guy, just because of the name. So I thought that was cute. The scene where Ignis was flying with Yusaku's dual disc. Oh god, that was so funny. I couldn't stop laughing. That was funnier than anything in Thor Ragnarok. I just love how Ignis is so over the top and how, like, proud that he did this. And Yusaku's just like, so that's why my dual disc was more heavy. I am a little disappointed that with the robot, they weren't working on anything more serious, as I know a lot of people were theorizing, what if Ignis is actually part of the bad guys? What if this is something? I'm sure there's more to it, but for our first big reveal, yeah, it would have been cool if, like, Ignis revealed some big crazy plane, but honestly, flying and, like, just being a drone and, like, talking like he's a helicopter pilot, it was such a funny scene. On top of that, there's really nothing else. I don't know what the deal with Cyber's Wizard is. Potentially Ignis did it, or another thing relating to the Cyverse. That could be really cool. Real neat idea. I like where it's going. And finally, the last thing we're talking about today, the new Hero Link monster. As many people of you know, I am a big Hero fan. They're my favorite archetype. I love how versatile the deck is. I love how it's maybe the only deck that has gone through this much evolution and notoriety, and against people who don't like Dark Law Infamy. So I have amazing love for this deck, and when I woke up, what was it, yesterday, 2 days, whatever, and saw that they were getting a Link monster, I was so excited, and then I read the effect and I cried because it was so bad. I actually wanted to do a video on the card and tried like 5 times, but could never make something in a time limit I wanted to do that I felt really summed it up. So we're just going to do it quickly now. Name, artwork, attribute, all fine. They all look cool. Whatever. Those link pointers. Jesus Christ, could they have not screwed this up worse? Why is every other legacy support, the link cursors are in places that make sense? Okay, the Shadol one is kind of ass, but up until now, they've been hitting it out of the park, and I know the last couple Link Vrains pack reveals haven't been so exciting, but this feels like bottom of the barrel. Some idiot who's never designed a card made this. Why would you put a link cursor in the front? The problem with heroes in today's meta is their power output. We can get to Darklaw just fine. We need stuff to help back up Darklaw that competes in the much more aggressive, combo-heavy format we're in. And the thing is, we needed that extra zone for Xyzes or anything. So putting one zone in front not only helps the opponent, it also hurts us in ways that most people will I don't even know where this is going, but still. Then the materials. 2 hero monsters. How are we supposed to get to this? Like, literally, that is the most asinine summoning condition. Most main deck hero monsters are so outdated that none of them have special summoning conditions except for Bubble Man. But the thing is, you then need to set 3 cards to summon the Bubble Man with a Shadow Mist, then overlay to make this thing, and then you somehow have to get another card out in order to combo with it. That's the other problem. This thing does not actually fix any problems. Like, the thing is, you then have to get another hero monster out. The easiest way to do this would be with something like Back to the Front or Call the Haunted from the Graveyard, but now we need to be late in the game when you've probably used up a lot of your resources and most likely all of your Shadow Mists. So then the effect of going to a zone and then getting something is also completely terrible because you want to use that zone for your Darklaw. Even if you get a mass change back from the grave, it doesn't matter because you have to wait a turn. Miracle Fusion and Polymerization, or let's be real here, Fusion Substitute, are good, but the thing is that, again, you still need to put them somewhere, which means the thing you just summoned either has to go away, so that's another resource you've wasted to make this card viable, and again, let's assume your opponent isn't curb stomping you. Plus that 1900 body, that thing ain't killing shit. And then you get that other effect, the floating effect, which when I saw it had a floating effect, I'm like, okay, this can save it. Be something like once removed from the field, summon a hero monster from the deck. Nope. The completely asinine from the hand. As we already established, the best way to summon this thing, or the only real way, is to get Bubble Man on board, which means you'll have no hand. True, you'll get a hero to your hand from the Shadow Mist Church, but chances are you already summoned that because it's probably another Bubble Man just to trigger this thing's useless effect. You're not going to have anything in your hand to summon. Like, this is the reality, is that this thing is so ungodly specific, while also so not helping you when you're, by luck, get it off. I don't even know what the point is, and I don't even know what they were thinking. It's a real damn shame. That being said, though, if you look on the premium pack cover itself, there's actually another card there that no one has identified yet. It's possible extra heroes are going to be a thing and they're making this into a real deck and it's a Link Fusion hybrid deck. If that's the case, fine. Don't lead off with this thing. Sorry. It looks cool. Just, I like the Cyberse mixed with hero look. But what did you think? In the comment section below, give me your thoughts on any of the things I was talking about. The hero thing is the TCG question. And as always, click to like, click to subscribe, and see you next time.